So let's skip the frustration of learning the guitar, and in this daily series of videos I'm breaking down some of the most common beginner guitar chords. And today I'm going to break down the C major chord. I'm going to show you the finger placement, give you a basic strumming pattern, and I'm going to show you an alternative as well to make it even easier. So the C major chord uses 3 fingers. We've got the first finger, the second finger, and the third finger. And we've got the diagram here as well to make it easier for you. So the first finger goes on the first fret of the B string. So this is the B string, also known as the second string. And frets are the metal bars that go across the strings. The second finger skips the third string and goes on to the fourth string, the D string, at the second fret. Now the third finger, now we're going to be stretching a little bit more. The third finger goes on the third fret of the A string, the fifth string. And with these here, all of your fingers are going to be pretty close to the frets. Now, especially the first and the second finger. Now, I've got pretty short fingers. Now, for me, when I play the C chord, my third finger isn't exactly like it is on the diagram here. It's just, there's a little bit of a gap between the fret and the finger, but it's still ringing out. So if you've got a little bit of a gap as well, don't worry, just make sure that the string is still ringing out. Now the thing about this chord here, as I mentioned, that your second finger is skipping over the third string. Now one thing that happened to me when I started out playing was this finger here, this second finger, would often be touching that third string and would give me this horrible buzzing sound. So when you've got a finger that is close to an open string, and an open string is a string that you're not playing, when it's close to an open string, you want to make sure that your finger is arched nicely so that, yeah, it's not touching the string. And of course the same will apply as well to the third finger, because you also want to make sure that this finger is not touching this string. So your third finger on the fifth string is not touching the fourth string. But I always found I had more problems when there was an open string next to, for example, like this one here. Here's the open string. It's next to the D string, which I'm playing, which I'm fretting. So that's something you want to watch out for. Now this is a 5-string chord, so you're playing just the top 5 strings. So you're playing the 5th string, the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string. All right. So remember the order of the string numbering is this thinnest string is the 1st string, this is the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and this low E string. And if you look at the diagram, you'll see that there is an X above the 6th string. And what that means is don't play that string. And that's when your thumb gets used and you're going to press, well not press, you're going to lightly touch the low E string to dampen that sound, to dampen that string. And you will have this sound here. It's a nice sound, it's clear, it's bright, it's a major chord. C major is one of those bright chords. And to strum it, all you need to do, keeping it simple again, very simple, use down strums. Now if you're using a plectrum, you will just hold the plectrum and do that. Now I'm just using my thumb. This is how I started back in the day, back in 1986. And I'm just doing this. Now I can hit the 6th, the low E string. I can hit that string because it's dampened and it's not giving me any unnecessary sounds. Or you can use your first finger and you're kind of just using the nail to strike the strings, and it gives a completely different sound, as you can hear, compared to the thumb. But whichever way you're strumming the chord, the one thing you want to make sure is that you are keeping the time, keeping the rhythm even. So you don't want to be speeding up and you don't want to be slowing down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keeping it nice and even. Now I mentioned earlier that when you put this chord on, the first, second, and then you put that third finger on, it can be a bit of a stretch. Now when I started, the first way that I learned this chord was to only play top 4 strings. So I'm using the first finger and the second finger only, but I'm not playing the 5th string, or the 6th string. So I'm using my thumb again to kind of dampen the 6th string and the 5th string, because we don't want this sound. So we just want the top 4 strings. And you could do it like this if it's easier for you. You do really need a little bit more control over this hand here, your strumming hand, in order to make sure that you're not playing these 2 other strings here. So this is why I think I found it a lot easier when I started out using just my thumb, because I had a bit more control. And you know, when you're only playing these top 4 strings, it's okay to kind of look down like that, just to make sure you're getting them right. You know, don't feel like you have to kind of be all like this. I can play, right? So just, you know, look down if you need to. Make sure you're playing the strings, the right strings, and that's fine. Now, why don't you check out some of my other videos in this 1 chord a day series. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy strumming.